Welcome to everyone joining us for the analyst meeting for the first quarter of Thai Union Feedmill. Both everyone joining us from online and on-site. And without further ado, please allow me to begin the presentation. We have executives joining us, Mr. Pirasak Bunmichod, our CEO, and Mr. Komkrit Awasutinon, our CFO. And I'd like to ask Mr. Pirasak to begin the presentation. Hello to all of our guests today, to the investors, shareholders, analysts. I'd like to share the operational results for the first quarter of 2024. For the first quarter of 2024, TFM, we have improving sales, 8.4% year-on-year improvement, thanks to our shrimp feed sales, which grew by 11.2% year-on-year, and this is mostly from Indonesia, and also partly from Thailand. And in Thailand, it's the sea bass feed that improved by 32.8%. And the volume also grew 3.1% year-on-year, mostly again because of the sales in Indonesia. Our gross profit grew significantly by 321.2% year-on-year. This is up to thanks to the management of our costs and the efficiency in production, as well as a strong portfolio. And our gross margin went up, our gross profit went up by 61.8% compared to the last quarter. Our gross profit margin is up by 16.1% from 4.1%, and our net profit is at 104 Thai million baht compared to the last quarter of last year, where we had a negative number. It's grown year-on-year by 475%. And as for our sales in each category, shrimp feed continues to be our main contributor. It's 56.7%, increasing from the first quarter of last year, which was at 55.3%. And our fish feed has also increased and contributes 33.6% compared to last year's figure of 31.7%. And this is mostly from our sea bass feed. It's a bigger part of our portfolio. And livestock feed has gone down from 11.5% in 2023, the first quarter of that year, down to 7.7% this quarter. And this is a strategy of ours. It's part of our portfolio management. We have decreased our livestock feed in Thailand because this is a lower margin product. And as for the sales in each country, in Indonesia, the sales went up to 11.6% in Indonesia. And this is a remarkable sales growth of 126%. And the sales in the country have gone down a bit, but we have grown in TUKL in Indonesia in the third and fourth quarter of the last year. We were producing 400 to 500 tons. Right now, it's up to 1,900 tons, and this is a 3 times the growth, 3 times the number in terms of growth. And Pakistan, we're looking at 1.6%, and this is mostly from livestock feed. The aqua feed has gone down, and it's mostly from livestock feed. This is cost reduction as well. As in terms of net profit, in the first quarter of this year, I would like to explain that this is a result of our company growing from our key engines from Thailand and also from Indonesia, where we have invested. And as I gave you guidance before, in the third and fourth quarter of the last year, the major factors that have an impact on our profit margin are four things. The first is the production yield. The production yield improved from the first quarter of 2023 to about 97 to 98%, up from 93%. So again, it's now 97 to 98%. And the second thing is the management of our operational costs. We have reduced our overhead costs compared to the first quarter of 2023, and it's more than 70% reduction. And TUKL is the next factor. After we adjusted the base this year in the first quarter, we are seeing the results of that adjustment, and we have surpassed the break-even point. From 400 to 500 tons, we're now at 1,900 tons, and this we now are seeing a profit for the first time. And the fourth thing is our portfolio. We have adjusted the portfolio. We are focusing more on high profit margin products and lowering the lower margin products. And the higher profit margin products are from shrimp and from fish. And the details in our operations at the factory, mostly what we want to tell you is about our production, the costs, the efficiency from 93 to 98%. This is a big jump. The savings that we have are 40 to 50 million Thai baht. The yield has increased, and we are using the raw materials per unit is lower, cost is lower. And we also have cost savings in the factory, whether it's the overhead management, as I mentioned earlier, that's gone down by 17%. The factory cost, whether it's overhead, the water cost, the electricity costs, the labor costs, the savings and inventory stock, we have improved our numbers in this regard. We have better inventory management. We have a 17-day cycle. Turnaround is 17 days. We have better forecasts. We have better forecasts for our sales, and therefore our products are fresher, higher quality, efficiency is improving. And our energy management, we have changed from the boiler to reduce our electricity costs and other costs in our factory, and therefore our overhead for the first quarter has gone down significantly. And the results for TUKL in the next slide, you can see very strong results. This is our first time for positive results like this, and this is what we expected because we adjusted the base, adjusted the portfolio, adjusted the foundations. And so we're seeing a remarkable jump in the numbers. From 500 tons, we are 3 or 4 times bigger now. And in the next quarters, it's possible to go up even higher. And this is because of our management team going in the third and fourth quarter of last year. And right now, TUKL, the products are becoming more and more popular in the market. We worked on the formulation, we worked on the costs, just like here in Thailand. And so our products have better quality in that market, and the customers are turning to buy our product more. So we're seeing an 18.2% gross profit margin for the first quarter of 2024. And in Indonesia, things are taking off. Our net profit breakdown. Look at the portfolio on the next slide. We're focusing on higher margin products, and this is something that we've been working towards. A focus on higher margin products, and the higher margin products account for 74.9%. The products that we increased from 74.5% to 74.9%. You can see the jump from the last quarter of last year to this first quarter of this year. We are also intend to reduce the products that are not producing margin, like livestock feed, fresh feed, freshwater fish feed. We're looking to improve profit there as well. We are looking at ornamental fish feed to expand that market. Our mindset is that I want to adjust the portfolio so that TFM has a diversified portfolio and we reduce the risk and increase our profit. And in the following quarters, in subsequent quarters, we will have more stories to tell you. And on the next slide for me, this is about ASC, which is a feed certificate that we have received. We want to share with our investors and analysts that we are so proud to have received this certificate. It's a global certification, global recognition, and it deals with sustainability management and environmental sustainability. And for the supermarkets, retailers, this is what consumers are looking for, this kind of certification. And we are very proud to be the third of the world to receive the certificate and the first in Asia. Mexico also has a certificate, but they are not a aquaculture feed factory. They are another animal feed factory. Our team has the great intention of increasing our standards. ASC feed certification makes us visible to consumers and retailers alike. And this will improve the value chain for aquaculture to consumers around the world. Our game plan is with our old customers, our current customers. They will grow with us. And for those who are our potential customers, they are our target. If customers choose certified producers like us, then the customers that we support, they will be able to claim that they use our products and they will be able to expand their own business thanks to our certification. This is a standard that is hard to achieve, so we are very, very proud of this certification. And this also supports our sea change strategy for the entire TU group. I'd like to turn things over to Komgret now to discuss the financial results. Hello to our analysts and investors today. For me, I'm going to talk about the financial results that for the first quarter of 2024. We promised you that we would share these. We continue to try to turn things around. And the company, even though we are in Thailand, whether it's in the company in Thailand or our affiliates in Pakistan and Indonesia, and we're very happy to inform you that we have been able to achieve part of our goal, and we will continue on our path. Let's talk about the first quarter results compared to the last year results, so negative results of last year. Right now it's 104 million baht now. This is an increase of about 450 or so%. And what we're trying to do, which has led to the results that we have in this quarter, I'd like to summarize 4 points for you. The first is we have growth in our top line, especially for the shrimp feed in Indonesia. From in the past, it was last year at about 400 to 500 tons per month. For this first quarter, we were able to achieve almost 4,400 tons in just this first quarter. And this has led to cost efficiency. So this quarter for TUKL, we have profit numbers, or seeing positive figures for profit. And the platform and our work method with the parent company, we have sent a team to oversee things in Indonesia, and things will continue to improve. And in the country itself, the sea bass feed, we've adjusted things, and this shows that our feed conversion ratio is one of the leading. We can claim this confidently, and this has led to an increase in our fish feed sales. The second thing is our gross margin. we'd like to inform you that we are trying to improve things inside our parent company, and the cost volume, the profit from the increased production in Indonesia has led to our gross margin percentage to jump from 4.1% to 16.1%. And this is the best, perhaps the best we've seen so far. In the rest of the market, things are not improving. We are compared to us, they're not improving. They're not improving significantly. And in terms of SG&A, I will delve into the details later, and you will see that there is an increase by a bit, mostly because of our efforts to increase the market expansion in Indonesia. And this has led to expenses in sales and transportation and other sales related costs. But in terms of percentage, it's very similar to the proportion, the previous proportion. And this has all led to our profit for the first quarter in just the one quarter alone to be higher than the profit for the entire year of last year. The consolidated number for last year for the 4 quarters was at 88 million baht. And right now, we have achieved 104 million Thai baht for just one quarter alone. So we are very, very happy about this. We remain steadfast in our efforts. We're going to be disciplined and continue to look for new areas for growth. Hope to turn other negative numbers into positive numbers, and we hope to provide favorable results for the entire year. And now let's take a look at the sales. For the sales growth, it has grown by 8.4% compared year on year. If we take a look at the numbers, it's about 97 to 98 million baht. And if we take a look at SKUs individually in terms of shrimp feed, year on year, we're looking at sales increase by 72 million baht. This is from Indonesia. For Thailand, we have also contribution from the Thai market as well. That's remained at the same level of last year. For fish feed sales, have gone up by going back to Indonesia. Indonesia has grown significantly. Let's move on to fish feed. Fish feed, we break it down into two. We have the Thai market and the market in Pakistan. And in Pakistan, the market there has not recovered very well. And the first quarter in Pakistan is a low season for Pakistan as well. So fish capture will improve in the second quarter. And fish feed in Thailand, I'm going to talk about two different things. First is the sea bass feed, which has grown significantly, and the other fish feed, which are freshwater fish feed here in Thailand, which we will work to improve the volume of. We are in the process of adjusting this, and we're looking for a bigger market, expanding the market. So the sales volume year on year has grown by about 54 million baht. Quarter on quarter, this has gone by down 48 million baht for the entire group. And this is due to seasoning. The fourth quarter and the first quarter, if we compare them, in the country, you all know that the weather is so warm, the temperatures are so high, so for the second quarter, things will improve. As for our livestock feed, there are two portions. The first portion is the livestock in Thailand. As our CEO mentioned, we will select and include only those higher profit margin products in our portfolio. In Pakistan, because their fish feed has dropped the demand, so we are looking at a top line to expand the top line for livestock feed. In Pakistan, it's grown by 30%, and the livestock feed has grown by 30%. by about 30%. And we have a project to begin AMG, our subsidiary, to produce the first shrimp feed in Pakistan. And we will have to take a look at this in more detail in the third and fourth quarter. If we break it down into entities, the parent company year on year, the sales grew by 1.3%, and this is by about 13 million baht increase. In terms of volume, it's gone up, but quarter on quarter, you can see it's gone down a bit. Nonetheless, in our own country, there is one item that is a key point that has enabled us to have better profit, and that is that we have tried to manage our portfolio to make it one of a healthy margin, and to include products or to exclude products that are lower margin or no margin at all. And those have the lower margin but can help with the volume and to increase the production capacity to achieve economies of scale. We will continue to keep those products. So our top line in the country has grown significantly, but our internal management and our cost structure, in terms of the overhead, the yield has improved by 5% on average. So our gross margin has increased significantly thanks to our internal management. In Indonesia, the value of the sales has jumped from 64 million Thai baht to 145 million Thai baht. This is a growth of 126%. And quarter on quarter, it's the same. We are very surprised and we are very proud of our subsidiary. In reality, shrimp feed in the first quarter, normally the sales are lower than in the fourth quarter. But if we compare quarter on quarter, the sales in TUKL has gone up by significantly. And this is something that we're very, very happy about. This is an engine for us, a major engine for us. And it has made our consolidated figures so significant. The fish feed, which is the main product for them, has not improved in TUKL, but ATM, they're trying to improve. Fish feed was significant. It is the main product for them, but they're looking at higher livestock feed sales for AMG. And so our top line has increased by 2.4 million baht. And we're looking at improving the numbers. The production has gone up to 500 tons. On the next page, this is the structure for NPNL. It'll give you a clearer picture. The top line for the entire group, for the first quarter, we add 1.24 billion Thai baht. This is a year-on-year growth of 8.4%, and the cost of goods sold has increased. You can see that our sales have continued to go up, but we are managing our costs. So overall, our costs have gone down by about 57 million Thai baht. This has led to a gross profit increasing by 153 million to 201 million Thai baht for the first quarter. So it's jumped significantly to 16.1% for the gross profit. SG&A has increased for the entire group by 11.8%. But as we informed you, this is mostly from the costs from expanding our marketing activities in Indonesia. And our AR provision has improved. It's quite evident. From the last year, we had a provision of 2 million, over 2 million, and now it's down to 2 million or so. And we have measures in place at the parent company that are working, and we're going to implement those measures in Indonesia and Pakistan as well. So the overall picture for us is a net profit, and our consolidated numbers with our profit sharing for TUKL and AMG. So our first quarter is a profit number of 104, net profit of 104 million Thai baht. And this is from the activities from many areas. First is from our improvement in the yield, and we continue to improve the yield. In this year, we told you last year that the company invested and in machinery, improved machinery, and this is leading to better yields. And our yield, our productivity is stabilizing or getting better. The second thing is that we have overhead costs that are lowering to 17% thanks to our cost savings program, and electricity use. We're using solar cells, sea boilers. This is our fuel management, which is more efficient. We're using steam as well, and other concerns or other factors, other positive factors. Let's take a look at the indicators for our management. Our net working capital is on the next page. You can see that the AR collection period for the group has improved. The average from the third quarter of last year was 59 ones, and in the fourth quarter it went down to 56 days, and in the first quarter of this year it's down to 53 days. So we have production and better sales in Indonesia, so the days in Indonesia, the capacity for the entire factory is about 2,000 to 2,500 tons. That's the capacity. So this has led to an increase of 3 days in that country. But here in Thailand, we have better management. So our days payable outstanding has gone down from 43 days down to 42 days. And this is mostly due to Indonesia. The credit terms compared to Thailand are different. There is more activity taking place, so the average days has went up a bit in Indonesia, and the cash cycle is about the same. It's 54 to 55 days, so it's relatively the same. And the index that most of our interested in is the return on equity. You can see significant growth from 4% in the last quarter of last year. It's gone up to 9.7%, up from 4%. And for the next quarter, we are hoping for a double-digit return on equity. Our interest-bearing debt to equity is still at a low level. It's at 0.07 only. And this is thanks to our increased use of working capital in Indonesia, where we have more production taking place. And we have inventory that we're managing better, and a better collection as well. So I would like to share with you that we are very proud of our results, but this isn't the end for us. It's going to continue on. Mr. Pirsak will share more with you as to how we're going to manage further. The financial guidance, we will maintain our sales growth at 10 to 15%. Our GP has been increased from 11 to 13%. We are now forecasting it at 12 to 14%. Our SG&A remains the same at 6 to 8%, and our dividend policy is also the same. It will be at least 50% payout ratio, and our capex use will be the same. Capital expenditure will be at 256 million Thai baht. As for sales, to 15 to 10%. This year is a year that we have begun to penetrate the third and fourth quarter. I told you that the freshwater fish feed for shrimp, it's up from 70% to 21%. At the end of the year, we hope to expect 25% for shrimp feed. And this is an engine that will help improve our productivity. It will also affect, we have our freshwater fish feed. We have a 35% market share for sea bass feed. Our core business, both the sea bass feed and shrimp feed, we will continue to maintain these. We have been working since the fourth quarter to improve things for our freshwater fish feed. We have the various fish, whether it's the tilapia fish and other fish as well, other freshwater fish. We are pursuing more market share. Our top line will grow, and we have economy of scales. Right now, we're using 60% of our production capacity. We'll increase it to 70 to 75%. And our overhead will go down. Therefore, our top line will increase and our GP will increase. And our overall numbers will improve. In Indonesia, the sales, you can see that we grow by 4 times or so. The first quarter is the low season in Indonesia and in Thailand. And in Thailand and Indonesia, we are tropical countries. So the second quarter and the third quarter, that's when the business will improve. The first quarter is a softer one. In Indonesia, for the first quarter this year, we expect an average of 1,900 tons on average. And we saw a jump from 4,000 to 5,000 tons, right? We don't need to increase our capital expenditure there. We can increase to 3,000 tons, and this is an opportunity for us. Growth from this point forward will be our top line in volume in Indonesia, and this is an engine that we put in place since the third and fourth quarter of last year. We will see in the second quarter of this year, we expect to be better than the first quarter of this year. And we don't want to spend time with anything that is not leading to an improvement in our profit margin. We want to reduce our risk in our various engines, and the TFM portfolio will improve. Our gross profit margin we adjusted it from 11 to 13%, up from 12 to 14% because we have better cost management. And the third and fourth quarter, we wanted to improve our fundamentals for the company. We told you last year, and the cost was most important for us. Factory leads to yield and operation and costs and expenses, and we are all lean right now. My plan is not just for this year. In the future, our sales will improve. We are preparing for the future to be a low-cost producer, and we want to adjust our portfolio accordingly. We have factory savings as well, so that we have higher gross profit and net profit. In terms of volume, we want to increase our freshwater fish feed and to improve our economy of scales. And this will be in the second and third quarter and fourth quarter, and we'll continue on. This is the plan that we have. For the first quarter, as I mentioned, it's a low quarter for us. I believe that in the second and third quarter, it will improve. It's when the temperatures will lead to better catch, more investment, more need for feed, and there will be a peak period, and therefore we need to manage well, and we have to have a plan to accommodate the changes in the market. But we have already begun this. We already began our cost management measures since the last year. This is a long-term foundation to make things more sustainable. We expect that in the second quarter, we will see better numbers than in the first quarter, and that the quarter numbers in the third quarter will be better than the numbers in the second quarter. For key improvements, I would like to manage our portfolios. So we are investing in R&D. We are recruiting more R&D in officers. We have 3 more people joining us. They're going to develop our products, newer products for the market, not just shrimp feed or fish feed. We want to provide all kinds of feed so that we can build on these new products and discover potential for the company, improve on the potential of the company. We are focusing and we are taking things seriously. We are working seriously. We are continuing to work on our cost management. The product quality is also very essential. In the past, in the third and fourth quarter of the last year in Indonesia, they have proven things have improved. This is proof of the success of our efforts. In Thailand, the market share that we have comes from quality. The second thing is because of our cost management. They go hand in hand. If the quality is stable, then it becomes word of mouth for the farmers. Farmers are able to have a good FCR, able to have a low cost because we provide high quality products at affordable cost for them. We are helping the farmers to lower their costs, and this improves the benefit for the farmers. We are working on the quality and improving our services as well, and also working on strategizing for the future. In terms of our management of new investments, you can see that our yield is improving. Our mindset is that we are using money for machinery to sustain our costs. We're focusing on yield. In the past year, our machinery was 20 years old. We're changing. We have plans for the second phase, third phase. Our production efficiency will improve. Our automation, we have that as well. We are going to reduce our labor as well. That's our plan. We're going to reduce by 80% or so. Our new growth engines in Thailand, we continue to focus on new growth engines. Shrimp is 280,000, I believe, and fish feed is sea bass feed is about this. Our market share is increasing. That means we're going to have more market share. We have 4 engines or 5 engines in the form of freshwater fish feed. We are working on this. We began since the fourth quarter of last year, and we're seeing results. We're starting to see results in the first quarter. We expect to see a bigger market share in this regard as well. I personally like to look far into the future. The export market, there's potential there. There's potential to expand into other markets, to neighboring countries. What I want to tell you right now is that we are looking at expanding abroad in terms of selling the feed we already have in our portfolio to neighboring countries, whether it's to the Middle East as well. Where they have aquaculture, we're looking at opportunities there. This is another engine that will help our company have a growth engine and have an improved top line. It's another opportunity. And if there's any progress, we will share this with you in the next quarter. Are there any questions? Any questions of the things that we shared with you today? Hello. Could I ask about your aim for gross margin? You have a target up to the first quarter, you have 16%, right? But your aim is 12 to 14%. So in the second half of the year, that means your gross margin will drop, right? What is the reason for this drop? Are you worried about raw materials, the increasing price of raw materials, or your fish feed, you're going to downsize it, right? For the first quarter, this is a good question. We are conservative for our raw materials. We are concerned, but mostly it's all about our internal management. We have to adjust our portfolio. The 14%, we believe 12 to 14% is a bit conservative, but we want to deliver an outcome that shows strong performance. So in the second and third quarter, things will improve. I'd like to ask about details on the page about net profit where you compare the net profit for the various quarters. TFM, the profit is increasing by 123 million baht. This is from the reduction in production of low margin profits. Is that what led to the impact, or is it a change in your products overall? Could you explain the contribution, the jump in this number? What is the main reason for this significant increase? 123 million Thai baht. The main contributor is from efficiency and cost saving, internal cost savings. That's perhaps 50 to 60 million baht. Our yield has improved on average for our parent company by about 5%. That's significant. We also have raw materials that have lowered, but that's not very significant. In terms of yield, we have a variant. We have a change in the usage. We use cost standard in our formulation at about 95%, and we achieved 98%. So we have savings from our raw materials of 3%. If that means that in every quarter for this year, if we compare year on year to the last year, you will see efficiency that will lead to an increase. This is a new base, right? A new baseline? Yes, that's correct. So we are confident. That's why we are confident with these conditions, with this condition, this environment, we can continue on this track. Let me return to the previous question. Looking forward, looking toward the future, we have a conservative view in case of uncontrollable factors, such as, for instance, the raw material prices go down, but then we have pressure from a price war. So we have accounted for this. In the past few years, many times when we thought things would improve, our expectations were not met. So we decided to remain conservative, and we have forecasted our profit, a conservative number, and the forecast is at about 300 million baht. We've increased it to 340 million baht. Can I ask about your product mix right now? The optimum that you want for the product mix, what will it look like if we compare it to right now in your budget? I would like to have a portfolio that has a lower risk and be the backbone, and the backbone will be the high profit products like shrimp and fish feed, sea bass feed. This is 70 to 80%, and others from other animal feed would be 10 to 20%. That's the first station for us, because the issue is that we want to have an economy of scales for our factory, which will lower our production costs. It will also improve our top line and it will also help us expand our market share. There is room for us to improve in that regard. That's the first step. And your sea bass feed and your shrimp feed, what is the margin? The margin is very similar, right? Or is there, or does one of them, is one of them higher? The margin is very similar for these two types of feed. They might be about 1 or 2% different. That's all. But overall, these are our champion products. And the market share that has increased, is this from your marketing, or is it from you're building a relations with your customers, or why has your market share increased? We have to come back to the same thing. Our aim is quality, and our increase in market share is because of our high quality products, and we have to maintain that quality. We have to think of the farmers. We have our policy. Most important is the farmers. We need to help them survive. FCR needs to be low for them. They see prices that are continue to go up and down, and it affects them. We need to have a lower cost product to support the farmers, and this will lead to our higher market share. We have a focus. It's location based. We have our geography, and we have more than that. We are very selective when it comes to customers, meaning that we choose customers that are quality, they have the appropriate scale, and we expand in that regard. We also have social media. Our social media leads to word of mouth, or is a basis for word of mouth. The farmers themselves, they have their plans, but when they achieve good results with our products, then they tell others about the good results that they have achieved thanks to our products. So it's a word of mouth thing. They become brand ambassadors for us automatically. And we are introducing and communicating with farmers. We are sharing the story of farmers who are successful thanks to our products. And this is a fact that we're sharing with the market. This is something that we can communicate immediately and directly. But in the end, it all comes back to the quality of our product, which leads to our higher market share. But what we add to it is our management of service. I mean that we have an academic team that goes down to the ground level and works with the farmers. They have issues with the temperatures, higher temperatures, lower temperatures, the rainy season, the illness of the aquaculture. So we go in and we work with the farmers. We help them. In the high season, many farmers were not willing to farm shrimp and fish, but now with the higher temperatures, they're saying there's a low level of oxygen. So we have our academic team that goes in and works with the farmers. And this is the service that we provide if they have issues with illness in the aquaculture that they're raising. We with them in that regard as well. So our service has to be a one-stop one where they have everything they need. TFM is a company that is appealing, and we want the farmers to think, when they think of fish feed, when they think of animal feed, we want them to think of TFM first. So we help them raise their aquaculture, and we also help them with their cost. This is my philosophy, and this is something that we are doing very strictly right now. And this might be a small reason that has led to an increased market share that we're seeing. But we have our roadmap, and we see things improving if we continue on this path. And this is something that has been well received by the farmers. And I have one more question about TUKO. You have the break-even point. Could you expand on this? Why have you been able to turn things around? What was the turning point for TUKL? And how are you going to sustain this for the subsequent quarters? If you listened to our explanation in the third quarter of last year, we took a team to TUKL and we looked at the foundation, the market. We did an observation. The Indonesian market is a very big one. It's bigger than Thailand in terms of the shrimp feed. We saw the difference in geography and consumer behavior. The feed is different, and we adjusted the product to meet the needs of the consumers there in Indonesia. We also looked at the formulation, the quality. We used our techniques and know-how, the experience that we have here in Thailand, and we worked on the formulation for Indonesia so that the finished good met all the needs of the farmers in Indonesia. We adjusted the raw materials in the formula, we adjusted the production, we adjusted the size, and we sent the product to the farmers. And it's the same as in Thailand. We let the farmers try it for themselves. And because they are impressed, they share their impressions, their positive impressions with other farmers. And that leads to the word of mouth and leads to an increase in our market share. And this is the impact. And so we have farmers, they use our products, they're happy with it. Then the villagers themselves, they share their positive experience and they become brand ambassadors for us automatically. And so we have our products are not that expensive. They're affordable for the farmers. And this has led to a growth from 400 to 500 tons to up to about 2,000 tons, from 1,000 to 1,500 tons to per a certain period. We grew by so many times, right? And this is all thanks to what we've done. There is investment in the aquaculture, and it gets softer in the rainy season because of because of the illness that happens during the rainy season. This is a seasonal thing. This is our game plan. This is our direction. And I'd like to add to this for TUKL. We are monitoring the performance. Mr. Pirasak joined us here in Thailand and Indonesia. We have closely monitored things that are happening. And after we worked on the management, sending our top management to Indonesia to sit on the team in Indonesia. We have our head of production down there, and communication with them is stricter. We are able to control production better. We're able to monitor things better. So we want you all to remain confident that we are on top of things, and we are looking for continuous positive outcomes. Could I ask quickly about the ASC certification? You said that the entire world, there are only 3 who received the certification. Is that because it's not necessary, or is this a new standard that is the wave of the future? It's the standard that is not new. Aquafeed has the certification, but we are the first factory to receive this. And it's hard to get the ASC certification, especially here in Southeast Asia, because companies must comply with sustainability requirements. ASC has very high standards when it comes to the environment and society. And we have met every angle, every factor, because we believe this also aligns with our TU Sea Change strategy. TU Group, restaurants all around the world, all of the retailers around the world, whether it's Costco, Whole Food, various clubs, that are our customers. These are big brands abroad. They want today the world is talking about sustainability. So TU and TFM, we are not only focused on business, we want the entire world to be sustainable. That's why we are forward looking more than others, and we pursued the ASC certification. You can see the entire world. This is the trend for the entire world in terms of business. We cannot focus only on business. We also have to look at sustainability. It has to go hand in hand with doing business operations. And it took more than 1 year. ASC certification is not easy. It's very hard to achieve, very hard to attain. We had to have a special team that focused only on this. And this is beneficial for us. The farmers, shrimp farmers, for instance, large shrimp farmers who want to, if they want to sell shrimp feed, thanks to the certification, we can increase our sales. When anyone wants to buy shrimp feed, because of our certification, they will look to us first, thanks to the certification. The Feedmill TFM, we have sustainability and increased market share, or market share that will increase thanks to the ASC certification. ASC certification means that our product is a premium product. We have been contacted by customers abroad as well because of our ASC certification. There's a frozen producer or a seafood producer who sell to other customers abroad, and they're looking for high quality products, certified products like ours. And this is our strategy in the long term. We're looking at our TU business that is focused on sustainability. Are there any other questions? If there are no further questions, it's already a little bit past 12, so we've actually gone over time. We'd like to thank everyone who has joined us for the Thai Union Feedmill Analyst meeting. Thank you.